Okay, welcome to the first day of science lessons that are related to our content. Last week it was all about just getting into a schedule and enjoying some science at home through different platforms, and also so that you can familiarize yourself with some of the platforms that I might be using before the end of the school year. Time will tell on how that works out. So to get us started, our new scales are focused on biology, and we're going to use one of our targets to get us going, and that's that you're using evidence to support an explanation for how characteristic animal behaviors and specialized plant structures affect how successful the reproduction of animals and plants is. Okay, and I'm going to let you know, when it comes to animals, humans are not going to be our main focus. Okay, we're going to look at other critters that are not humans. Remember that whole "it's not May" conversation? That's where that comes in. I am going to ask you to use your interactive notebooks. This is going to be a way for you to be able to keep track of your information you're learning. And I'll ask you periodically to upload pictures of your progress. And you'll see mine as well below. If you were to scroll down on the screen, you'll see that I'm uploading pictures of mine as well, so that you have an idea of what I'm expecting, since I'm not in front of you to show you. And a lot of you borrow my interactive notebook just to make sure you have everything that you needed, or things are in the right place. So I'm just going to be posting pictures of mine as we go. But I do promise you I'm going to keep things short, so I'm not going to have you taking pages upon pages of notes every day. Today it's just 6 things that you're going to be writing in, because remember, I'm not trying to have you spend all day doing science, even though I would love for you to. I'm just trying to keep it short and simple. So the page number, topic, essential question are here on the screen. Please pause the video so that you can get that written down, because I will end up moving on. And this is where you get to take your time, pause, play at your pace. Okay? Okay, so before I give you your first task, your first official science assignment, there are a few things that I want to cover. So the first question for you to consider is, why are reproductive systems so important to all living things? And it comes down to those essential life functions. And if organisms did not reproduce, they would become extinct. Their existence would cease to be, so there wouldn't be life without it. Okay? What are some ways that animals have adapted to protect and enhance their means of reproduction? So how have animals and organisms changed over time so that they are able to continue to exist as a species? Give you a second to think about that. If you were to think about some of the organisms and their mating rituals, I know you guys have seen a lot of videos out there that exist with birds dancing or them screaming. They're a really good example. So you'll see a lot of focus on birds with some of their behaviors, because some of them are unbelievable, some are really funny, some are beautiful. Think about peacocks, for example. There are some birds, though, that they build nests high in the trees to keep predators away, because who is going to reach them if they're at the tops of the trees? And then what might this look like in plants? So you have animals as an example. What do you think plants' structures are looking like to protect and enhance their means of reproduction? Oh goodness, my screen is cut off the bottom. I will post this set of slides as well with my video so that you can get that information. Plants that produce a large number of seeds are going to increase the likelihood of reproduction. Some of them have brightly colored flowers because they need to attract pollinators. They need to get those bees, the butterflies in there so that they can spread those pollen spores so that more plants can grow. So here's your first official task. Take a walk. Yes, I want you to go outside. Do not try to sit in your room or on your living room couch or in your kitchen, wherever you've been comfy, I want you to go outside. Now, when you do go outside, please make sure that you are respecting the social distancing guidelines, so stay at least 6 feet away from others, okay? But while you're out there, I want you to look for plant and animal adaptations, the things that features used for reproduction. And to give you some examples to guide you, that could be that there are male birds that are brightly colored, because in those organisms, the male birds tend to be the quote-unquote prettier ones. Brightly colored, very vocal. The females tend to be kind of muted in color, so to give you kind of an idea of what you're looking at when you're seeing birds out there. It's springtime, so there are a lot of things that are in bloom, so look for flowers that might have structures that are special to attract pollinators. Think about those birds again. There are nests out there for birds. Insects will lay eggs, so can you find any evidence of an insect or an arachnid that is trying to create a place to harbor its young? A few things though, be respectful of your neighborhood. Sorry, no one appreciates you out there screaming and disrupting the peace. It might create some concern as well. So please don't be extra. Just go outside, go for a walk, be peaceful, respect your neighbors, respect the habitats, respect all of those organisms and where they live, because when you're outside, you're in their home, okay? So please don't disturb them, torture them, kill them, stomp on them. You're there to observe. You're not there to kill anything. Please don't pluck any flowers. I know some of you are real sweet at heart and you want to bring flowers home for your mom or your dad or your siblings. Please don't do that, all right? You are killing them. And if you cross the road, please look both ways. I know it seems like an obvious statement, but for the number of students that are hit by cars on their way to school because they didn't look both ways each year is actually really high. So please make sure that you are practicing safe street crossing behaviors, okay? So while you're on your walk, so you have a couple of options here that I want you to think about while you are gone. You may choose to, let me see if I can shift this down a little for you. You may choose to keep a written list of your observations, and you'll see the hook assignment that comes in a digital form. You don't need to print it. Just, you can type in it when you get back. You can choose to make your observations and have a picture documentation. So in other words, take your phone with you and take pictures of your evidence, and you'll be able to insert those pictures into that hook form, that assignment that is on Google Classroom. Remember, that's where you need to access it from. I know on my website I have it posted, but that's just a reference. Your other option for how you can document your observations, take your phone with you and do a Flipgrid video. Okay, you can pause that video periodically so that you're just documenting evidence of your adaptations that you're noticing. But please make sure if you're doing a video that you are, it seems to be stating the obvious, but that's a part of this task. Please make sure that you're distinguishing if it is a plant or animal behavior or adaptation. All right, so please go ahead, pause this video, take yourself outside, go for a walk, enjoy the beautiful weather. I'm going to give you a second to make sure you pause that, and then when you come back, go ahead, press play so that we can finish up the lesson. How was your walk? I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got the fresh air that you needed, feel a little less of the cabin fever that has set in. So a few important points that you may have noticed, maybe not, and that's okay, but I want to make sure that you have these. So a few things that you could notice as evidence in plants of some of those adaptations. Acorns, so they have that real strong shell around them, so that when they're dropped from the trees, they can sit in the ground, or even if they're buried by the squirrels or other critters that are trying to store them for food. They'll stay safe in the ground until the conditions are appropriate, temperature, the amount of sunlight, amount of water, before they will sprout. So it's just kind of protecting them. Some have bright flowers. Some plants have bright flowers to attract those pollinators. Clovers are a really good thing that you could be seeing right now that are in bloom. And then big flowers, the dogwood trees that have been in bloom. I think a lot of them have started, the blossoms have started to fall off, thankfully, only because that means that the brunt of my allergy season is almost over. Woo! And then as for animals, so nests in the tree, some on the ground, if you find those. There are some birds that put their nests on the water to ward off their predators. Brightly colored flowers, their mating songs. And did you maybe see any little humans with their parents? That totally counts. So looking at today's observations and life in general, the point of consideration is the dominant plant life on Earth, and that comes from flowering plants. So if you think about how many plants that you either saw in bloom or have the potential to blossom, that's where you're going to see the greatest number of plant species. So back to the flower helping a plant reproduce, so attracting those pollinators. If they have produced seeds, then they're able to get those seeds spread out. Some are prickly and like they be attached to your clothes as you walk by a plant, and then they get brushed off, dusted off in another location. And then the seed coats, that was what I was mentioning a minute ago with the acorns. Okay, so guys, we're done for today. As long as you have all of your stuff, make sure that you you are uploading your assignment by clicking Turn In, or that you have submitted a Flipgrid. However it is that you're going to show me the evidence from your walk, share with me what you saw. Please make sure you're doing that as well. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.